Froggy. Oh, Grover want to help Froggy find who wins the competition. Okay.
Guys, Jed's doing a Kermit the Frog
no.
impersonation.
Did
I tell you we were live?
No,
we're definitely live.
Tell me we were live, and I'm doing Kermit the Frog.
Guys, we're live. Jed's Kermit the Frog has now been immortalized.
Oh no! Well, you know the pianist Marc-Andre Hamelin does the best imitation in the world.
Marvin the Martian.
Yes.
Can you do it? Try it.
At last, after 2,000 years of work, the Illudium Q36 explosive space modulator. Hey, Doc, you got a huge flying saucer? I gotta get back to the oint. Oh, the Earth shall be gone in just a few moments.
That's pretty good. I'd like to hear Mark's, though.
Oh, Mark's is much better than mine. Well, many, many years ago, Mark...
It is blurry. How do I make this less blurry? Need better light.
Well, do you want to hear the story about Mark? This is a great story.
Well, let me just... Why does it look awful? Well, guys...
Because I'm blurry.
Stop expecting so much from this. I mean...
My brain is blurry.
First of all, if you just joined, you're watching The Late Show. It's a little blurry. Maybe my light. This is The Late Chopin. That was just a little softer. No, you can keep the music going.
That was the theme to The Late Show for all you old folks who remember that.
So, guys, today we went live before the results because they're taking forever. So I have the same slides as last time. You're going to have an intro that starts now. It's really the intro to the intro. But no, it's an intro. It's a preface. And then we're going to have, at some point, we're going to have results. Okay, and then we may, well, he's a guest. At this point, you're like Andy Richter, or who was Johnny Carson's guy?
Ed McMahon.
Ed McMahon, yeah.
Hey-o.
Except you're not, because you're like my guest pundit. You're more of a I kind
of like the Ed McMahon. Basically, Ed McMahon was a second banana. I don't mind being a second, kind of like who is David Letterman's sidekick, the band leader?
They're telling me I've got a foggy or oily lens. Could it be that I just have the dirtiest computer screen in history? I'm taking these Chopin socks. We're going to clean this baby.
I think it's too many dirty jokes.
That actually helped. Did that help?
Can you see?
Did that help? Okay. I think that may have helped.
Yeah.
Yep. I just have a really dirty, disgusting screen because I never clean my computer. It's for me, it's good luck to never clean your computer screen or your phone screen.
Oh.
But I don't know. That's just me. So, guys, we're just gonna shoot the breeze until there's results. But I think we could actually get started by maybe beginning to jump ahead with some of our reviews and fake awards. And
well, these are some real awards, actually. I'm being kind and gentle this time. No,
but by fake, I mean the Chopin Institute has not officially.
They have not authorized these awards.
Right, they're fake, as in they're unofficial.
Unofficial. But remember in 1960, if any of you were around,
some of them were around. We'll do an age poll later.
No. But I think the first notable fake award in the history of the Chopin competition was in 1960, which is 65 years ago this month, when Arthur Rubinstein was on the jury, and that was the competition where Maurizio Pollini won first prize. And the pianist Michel Bloch was eliminated to Arthur Rubinstein's annoyance. And Rubinstein was just angry about that. So he decided right then and there to give Michel Bloch a special Arthur Rubinstein prize. He created this prize right on the spot. I don't know how much money it was. Maybe he had a $5 bill in his pocket.
What if we saw the first Garrick Olson prize? What if he just demanded, he used his leverage as jury chair to say, I'm giving the Garrick Olson prize this year?
Well, it could happen. You never know. Has this happened in other competitions?
Well, I don't know. I don't usually follow competitions until suddenly in the past year. It's all I've been doing.
But I know that when the Rubinstein competition started in 1974, Rubinstein himself was very involved with the jury and the who was getting prizes. I don't know if he was influencing them, but I think he was maybe trying to use his influence. But I think it was Maniacs. I think won the first.
Yeah, he did.
One in 1974.
And Maniacs was also at the 1970 Chopin competition, made the finals.
I did not know that.
Yeah, I found a documentary. There's a documentary. It's only in Polish, so you need to look it up in Polish.
Oh.
But I excerpt from it in the Chopin podcast, the last episode. And anyway, but it's called Sixth Place, First Place, or something like that. Sixth place with Janusz Olejniczak, who just passed away a year ago and was meant to be on this jury. And he was like 18 years old, and Garrick was 22, but the mighty pianist who'd already won Busoni, won Montreal. When Garrick went to Warsaw in 1997, he was one of the top favorites before he even landed. And so, and then he sort of made good on it. But in the documentary, which I can't understand a word of, it's still really compelling. The Poles have always been great filmmakers, and it's just, there's something modern feeling about it. For example, it's a little bit like Pianoforte documentary, but 50 years earlier. You get these scenes of Olejniczak sort of like watching Garrick play the F sharp minor Polonaise like a boss, warming up, trying the pianos, and you can just see this intimidation in his eyes, because like obviously he's very talented, but he's in front of. Oh boy. Results are coming, people. All right, guys, we're gonna mute so that you don't hear our feedback here. You're probably hearing right now. Guys, go ahead and watch that and come right back here when it's done, okay? We're gonna have it on quiet. Yeah. We're gonna mute ourselves so we can listen, and then we might chime in. Okay, we're back.
We're back, yeah.
Okay, some surprises. Wait, I'm getting feedback. Turn that off. Okay, yeah. Okay, let's talk. Okay, well, we'll just go in order here. And I need to keep my phone near me. We should be having a guest participant coming to join us who did pass. But I need to be, I'm not going to say who it is just in case they can't come. Let's just go through in order. Piotr Alexewicz passed. I liked his first round better than the second. I was actually a little surprised by that, but we'll move through this quickly. Jonas has his journey to the Chopin has come to an end. He made it to stage 2. He was a Clyburn semifinalist. I don't know if he was at his absolute best, but there are definitely merits to his playing. Yan Bao.
I am very surprised and frankly disappointed that she didn't make it, because her playing, I thought, had incredible finish and artistry and maturity, and I really hope to hear from her again. But then again, she's a young pianist and she has many competitions ahead of her, so we have to look at it from that level. But this was a really impressive, extraordinary artist who started strong. And
could we try to speculate on what maybe this is completely hopeless, what could possibly be seen as missing, maybe immature?
Jealousy?
Possibly.
I'll just leave it at that.
I don't know how the numbers average out.
Yeah, I won't speculate, but I'm just very proud to have heard her, and I look forward to following her journey.
Absolutely. She's 18 years old. I thought she was pretty much a lock for the semifinals, because you certainly couldn't fault her on anything objective, like miss note. Not that the jury is not that shallow, but if you make a big enough mistake, or if you have too many missed notes, it's going to dock a point or two from what could otherwise be great playing. She happened not to miss any, while also playing, I thought, with original timing and expression and sound and imagination. Very personal. There's a sadness in her playing which fits Chopin. I mean, here's why I think she's remarkable. I never thought of her as a teenager. We've been talking about the phenoms. There's like a handful.
Yeah, she's
18.
Yeah, but she's an old soul.
But even the old soul 16-year-olds, I know that they're 16. Every time she walked on stage, I just regarded her as an adult, and she played with maturity and
intention, and there was really no barrier between ideation and execution, which is something that I've noticed with several other pianists.
Okay, so next, Kaimin Chang, I thought played quite an impressive round. He was the one who did the first sonata. I think maybe you were even more impressed with Hyo Lee's first sonata.
Much more. I think, I was much more impressed with that. But you don't win the Chopin competition on the basis of your first sonata.
But we're just talking about moving on to stage 3.
Right.
I don't know. There were some Kaimin Chang. Any Kaimin fans out there? Let's hear from you. But I've talked about him on my Patreons, and interesting. Kevin Chen, no surprise.
Because this is virtuosity of a really transcendent order, and you can't deny the workmanship. How you feel about the musicianship, that's another topic, but this is a level of achievement that one really must reckon with.
Yeah, and I've been having some really fascinating discussions with people about what makes Kevin's playing special, even if it's not the typical categories we associate with Chopin: human, personal, melancholic, the poetic. These aren't characteristics of his playing. It's sublime. It's jetpack, but not just speed for its own sake. I mean, he creates contrails in the sky with his etudes that you haven't seen before, and it can be overwhelming. And it also, I've talked about this as well. I wonder if you agree. There's just something about that kind of playing which if you're sitting there as a jury member and you're like, I can't possibly give this less than a 22.
Sure.
Even if I don't like it, I just can't bring myself to get. And so enough jury members say that, and suddenly he's accumulating points.
Yeah,
and that really goes on,
it's like, when I talked about Pollini,
Yeah.
this example again, there was that famous story where Rubinstein said that this young kid, Pollini, plays better than all of us on the jury.
Yeah.
So perhaps some jury members were thinking, I never have been able to play the Chopin etudes like
We're
that.
going to talk about Kevin a lot more, and there's a lot that I really admire and have a lot to say about his playing. So I'm not putting him down at all.
No,
I mean,
I'm not
I think he's
either.
probably going to get a top 3 medalist. I think his
We'll
playing
see.
also suits competitions and just jury dynamics. But let's put that aside. Let's just keep moving
let's
here.
Go ahead.
Zhuhong Chen, he had the unfortunately was sandwiched between 2 excellent Chens, but and he had some wonderful things about his sound. He did not move on. Zizi Chen for me is a big loss. We really liked his Rondo Opus 1. And just
surprising.
in general, I thought his preludes were kind of stunning. He had one of the best G minor preludes. He had the best sound at the end of the D minor preludes, or he's top 2 or 3 for me.
Yeah,
Really
I thought
remarkable
very
playing, I thought.
distinctive playing, and I agree. And that rondo was really quite special.
Yeah,
he really sold it, didn't he?
Yeah, he felt the style. I haven't heard anybody talking about Zizi Chen, Zixi. Speak up if you heard Zizi Chen and you liked him. I liked him from the first round. I also just identify with his particular form of expression. So I might have been listening with biased ears in that regard.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what's at fault there. Yubo Dang, the inconsistent but some really remarkable sonorities and sounds.
Yeah, we'll be talking about him a little later, actually.
Oh, cool. Okay, good. Jack Gao, brother Jack, with some preludes, some really memorable preludes. We'll be mentioning those later as well. Congratulations to Jack. I'm really happy he went on. Sometimes he has little nicks and scratches, but here's what I'll say about Jack. When Jack misses notes, it sounds like a great artist missing notes. It sounds like when Horowitz or Rubinstein misses a note.
Right. Well, they play the right wrong notes.
Yeah.
In other words,
Jack plays the right wrong notes.
But also he had a really distinctive first round. I think he had that really epic scaled third ballade, which was very serious-minded and really ravishingly detailed, I thought. And there are many things. So I think it's the totality of his achievement in rounds 1 and 2.
Jed, keep talking about it. I'll give you some names. I want to. I didn't mean to have ads on. Sorry, guys. I'll turn the ads off.
Okay.
Okay. Eric Guo passed.
Well,
I'm
very happy about Eric Guo because he's a pianist who played in 2021 in the previous the 18th competition, and I thought he did fine work then. But in the interim, he won the period instrument competition a few years ago, and I feel very strongly that his exposure to period instruments has had significant impact on his playing on a modern concert grand, because there's a newfound transparency and sensitivity about differentiation between registers, just in terms of the kind of sound and the kind of clarity he gets. I think that he's pursuing a different kind of sound world, and also the variety of expression in different genres, because there are many pianists who tend to play every Chopin genre the same way. But he played a set of Opus 17 mazurkas that truly mazurked. My goodness, what character!
We'll talk about those,
we're going to talk about those. But
I think he started a little cold, but once he warmed up, I mean, it's very intelligent playing, and I'm happy.
Where did he play first in this?
F sharp minor Polonaise. It started a little shaky, but I thought he. Okay, I need to pay attention if there's any super. Thank you. I'm going to say thank you now. I'm learning how to be a streamer here. Thank you, Charles Jazz. And also last time, a guy named Daniel donated with a question. I didn't see the question, so actually, I think I might have his question written down, so I'll get to that later. Okay, so moving on. Zhao Yuhu, cool dude. I interviewed him on the Chopin Talk, and there's some generic aspects to his phrasing, but some very promising things, and he's young, and he's got a promising future. Same with Zihan Jin. I really loved Zihan's first round, he had a beautiful, very special, I think, nocturne. He had an unfortunate memory slip in Prelude 16, and then he seemed kind of mad during his Polonaise after that. I mean, he was really rattled. I felt for him. But even without that happening, there were some, was starting to a little bit show his weaknesses, I thought. Adam Kaldunsky didn't pass.
He didn't pass. I think his playing maybe is not for everyone. But like I said in our previous meeting, I was very struck by his body language, that the connection between body and mind and music making is very, very well put together. And it's certainly, I wouldn't necessarily say it's competition playing per se.
No, it's not. Well, clearly not.
No,
he just got eliminated.
Yes,
I liked it. I like him.
But it's a kind of pianism where he goes for the big picture and lets the little details take care of them.
Also, he's going to get an award from me later, so stay with us there.
I feel a real kinship with him.
It's not fair. I'm not going to single out names, but there's some other 24 Prelude people who played 24 Preludes who I just thought his were so much more vivid and revealing. And then at least one who passed. So yeah, but let's talk about David Krakuli.
Well,
let's go.
I'm gonna talk about him.
We shouldn't spend too much time on the ones who passed, and we all knew they should pass, and we're happy they passed. Because if that wasn't passing, then we would be rioting.
But I'm going to be talking about him later on.
Yeah.
But he's a pianist who I enjoyed much of his stage one, but I feel that everything came together in stage two, and I'm going to talk about his Chopin preludes a little bit later. But he's a pianist who I've really been admiring since I first heard him at the Van Cliburn, and I've said this a zillion times. I said this in my Chopin report, that he played the sexiest version I've ever heard of the Scriabin Sonata number 7. I mean, it should be illegal. It was so good.
Guys, I was gonna say, before you go to sleep tonight, turn on David Krakuli's Scriabin 7, but I don't know. Maybe wait till Halloween, because
or wait till Valentine's Day. I don't know.
That depends on what your goals are on Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
Right. So, Guy, I'm getting texts. I'm seeing. I just want to check in. Yeah, some definitely disappointment here. I'm getting some texts from people disappointed. I'm asking them to elaborate. I just want to kind of get a temperature check. I mean, I have my disappointments. For sure, let's just keep in mind the jury, I think, is 17. Thank you, Bob. Thanks for the donation. It's 17 people ranking 1 through 25, and it's cumulative. So that means it's average from the round before. So if somebody had some weaknesses in their first round, and then they had a really strong second round, and then they didn't make it, that could be a reason. So we need to keep that in mind. That doesn't justify some of these. I mean, but anyway, keep that in mind.
It's kind of like the SATs.
Yes, it's just as dull and dreary as the SATs. And I'm getting texts. This is from, so various interlocutors are saying this is really effing annoying, the results. I don't know who. Someone says Ratanoff, Al Miller, the F. I'm getting a lot of F bombs. From people, so there's disappointment.
Oh, you mean fudge?
Meaning they should have gone on. Yeah, fudge. We'll talk about Anthony in a minute.
Fiddlesticks.
So yeah, if you know me and you're angry, you can text me right now. Yeah, and I got a sad text just now from someone, a Yan Yan fan. I need to go. Okay, guys, let's, in honor of Yan Yan's beautiful, unique, personal, special playing, let's all listen to her. You can pick a round. If you don't have as much time, do the first round. If you have the time, definitely go second round. If you just want to pick one piece, maybe fourth Ballade. Just her A minor waltz was.
It was absolutely wonderful.
Save that before bed, any Yan Yan fans, and we can sort of remember her together. But she's young. She's gonna come back, and Yan Yan, you just made legions of fans around the world. Competitions are weird and screwed up sometimes. We don't know who likes who and why. And we will actually find out in this competition. There is transparency. We're going to see scores. People are still holding grudges from 2015. about scores that judges gave the different competitors, and they'll sort of never forgive those jury members. Let's just say that to be a jury member is to risk somewhat of not career suicide, but there's a lot of scrutiny if you go and there's no if there is transparency and people know, and if there's no transparency like Clyburn and they don't know, it's almost worse because then everyone just suspects it's you who didn't vote for their favorite.
Yeah. Well, what is the case where, like, what if you have a teacher who's on a jury? Do they abstain? What is the story with that?
They definitely abstain. You have to declare. At least I'm pretty sure on both sides, both competitors and jury have to declare not just their main primary students, but anyone they've had a pedagogical mentor-student relationship with in a substantial capacity. I don't think master classes count, but any kind of, once you get their number, you arrange a lesson. I think that you have to say that.
Well, like as a blogger,
I should say, I don't want to just speculate. Look that up to confirm. I'm not exactly sure what the criteria are, but yeah.
But I do have to say that when I'm writing my gramophone blog, I am very clear about contestants whom I've either taught in master classes or who I have heard when I've served on juries, and or who are personal friends, and I'm very, very clear about that. So if you know that this is a friend and I praise them, then you can think, oh, he's biased.
Yeah.
Anyway,
for sure.
More to...
No, let's keep going. Let's get through them. Okay, so
the Lee brothers.
Well, first Shiori Kuwahara made it, and I'm happy about that.
I'd like to hear her. Well, I'm going to talk about her later.
Yeah, we'll save this for later.
Yeah.
The Lee brothers made it. Now, there's been some questions there. I heard their first rounds in the hall, but I didn't hear their second round, so I'm not entirely qualified to speak. But I did notice a thinness in their sound, a lack of distinction in some Piotr playing. I was sort of like confused during the fantasy. For me, it wasn't at all a kind of obvious finalist from last time walking right back through the competition. So, but here he is. I mean, he's sort of marching through again, and he's bringing his brother with him. So,
yeah, I heard them both in the hall, and there was really quite a lot that I liked.
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
and I'll be talking about Hugh Lee momentarily.
Cool.
Anyway.
Yeah, and I look forward to going back and listening to their second rounds because I missed what they achieved. Kwanwook Lee didn't pass, but congratulations to him for getting this far. Tianyou Lee, I liked his fantasy in the first round. He's made it. By the way, I was quite busy this past week. I listened to about a little bit more than half in the hall in full, and then I listened to part of another 25%, and there's about 10 or 11 that I just did not get to hear. So full disclosure. Could you go let him in? Don't say who it is. And guys, our guest is here. So I think we'll actually pause. We're going to pause for our guest. Guys, keep chatting about whatever you feel like chatting about, but also
amazing.
I'd love to welcome to the stage of, if you're just joining us, this is the show, The Late Show. Pan, we had an intro. We've been talking about the results. We're going to pause the results. Jed and I will come back to them, but right now we're going to have a special guest.
Let me get
Let's go ahead and give it to him if you could take it out.
Okay, here.
You guys go ahead and try to guess.
Maybe you can help him.
I'll help him. Yeah.
I need all the help I can get.
And Jed, if you don't mind just taking a break, if you have your phone, you could look at the. Do you want to review the results at all, or? Here, let me get this. Here, clip this on. How's it going? Congrats.
All right.
Feeling good?
I can't say I'm surprised. I'm very well.
All right. Well, everyone always says that I'm bigger than everybody I interview, but this time we've got Jack out here.
Hello.
Thanks for joining me, Jack. Congratulations. We've been going through the results. Some people are sad, obviously, about their favorites not moving on, and there's typical competition talk. But we're super excited that you moved on, and I was just like, it was a absolute privilege to be in the hall for your second round. So it's a privilege to shake these hands. How'd you feel out there?
It was a little bit intense before the results.
Yeah.
So everybody was waiting on me included. And
just now? You seem out of breath. Were you running here?
Yeah, I was walking really fast.
Here, I got a bottle of water for you.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was walking really fast after I heard it. So yeah,
well,
I was really excited.
So catch your breath, drink some water. I'm going to ask them to ask questions. Oh, I guess I can unpin that old one. Unpin. Sorry, guys. I'll end the poll. Or da 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 da. Questions for Jack, guys. Let me spell questions right. Questions for Jack. Okay, now I got to pin it. Can we catch it? Can I catch it? Oh, there it is. Pin message. All right. Questions for Jack. But I'll ask you some first, guys. Don't go too fast here. You know how many people are live right now? 1.2K.
Wow.
Right now.
Wow.
Amazing.
Over 1,000 live, and the chat is flooded. I mean, it's not quite the Chopin channel chat, which is just. Well, I don't know if you've seen it. So, I have a question. Is this your first time playing in that hall? The first round, obviously.
Yeah.
What is it like when you walk out and you see just so many people, like one of the best audiences in the world? I've made fun of the coughing in between, but they are so attentive and they're so happy to be there. There's lines of people waiting 12 hours just to get in. And it's such a beautiful hall and a special space, and you're about to play the best piano in the world. And this stage with this many people watching, just what does it feel like? Where does it hit you?
Every beer here is quite an experience to play for such a large group of audience and seems so passionate. And
do you get sort of like butterflies in your stomach?
yes, especially there's these stairs. Because it's my first time, so I get on the stairs. I don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
So I walk on the stage, and then I turn around. Suddenly, like everybody is in view.
Yeah. Jack, how tall are you? Do you know in feet?
If it's 6'7".
6'7". Okay.
So in meters, 2 meters exactly.
Did you ever play basketball?
Sometimes a little bit.
But it's dangerous, I guess.
Yeah.
But you could dunk a basketball probably. Somebody wants to know if you can palm one, but guys, there's no basketball here. Maybe next time. Do you favorite prelude?
Wow. F-sharp minor.
Nice. It was beautiful how you played. For me, the one moment, I mean, there's lots of moments, but one moment that never fails to give me goosebumps in the preludes is the last page of the F-sharp minor.
Yes.
When it goes dum da dum da dum da 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 dee da da, and then it's major. I loved how you played it. What do you? You're so perceptive in your playing. How much score study do you do? Where do you get your ideas? This is like 3 questions in one. Basically, like how much of your inspiration is from listening to recordings or hearing ideas from teachers maybe, and how much is from just you and the music in front of you?
I think it's each one of these contribute an equal part of it. So I would say 33% of me trying to provide my own opinions, and 33% of my teacher's opinions, and 33% of I heard somebody in recordings, or I heard somebody talking, or somebody writing essays.
And you're somebody who consumes like great pianist recordings and golden age recordings. Do you have name some favorite pianists who've been dead for a while of yours?
Oh my God, Jed is here.
Oh, that's okay. There's no right or wrong answer.
Jed, we can bring Jed in a second. But yeah, who are your?
My favorite is probably the most popular, Alfred Cortot. Also because my teacher, he taught, Mr. Lowenthal talks a lot about this.
You started with Lowenthal? Oh, you want to know something crazy? He just butt dialed me like 20 minutes ago. I was getting a FaceTime from Jerome Lowenthal. I was like, there's no way he's intentionally doing this. Yeah, so what do you like about Cortot's playing? What speaks to you in his playing?
Undeniable strong characteristic. Yes, that's the first impression. Everything, especially the preludes, everything he shapes are just to the maximum extent of being different characters.
Do you find Cortot more lyrical or more spoken? Because do you know what I mean? Like he speaks his melodies sometimes. It's not necessarily sing-songy. Yeah. Do you like sometimes his phrasing is like, why did he stop there? But it's but do you hear that? Do you notice that quality in his playing? And is it something you test out at the piano, or you try to model, or do you just kind of listen and it gives you ideas and that you make them your own at the instrument?
I just got inspired generally, and I tried to think how he did his choices,
Mhm.
and also I was able to appreciate his characters and try to find my own.
Your sound is, I keep saying radiant. It really radiates around the hall. It's just like a laser beam kind of sound. What does it sound like in the practice room at Juilliard? I wouldn't want to be next door to you, but obviously you're a big guy, but can you just maybe show us something about your touch that is able to, because you have a wide range of touch, but just when you create a strong forte, like, is it key speed? I mean, is it how much, like, just do it for us right here.
Forte?
Yeah.
Like this?
Yeah, give me a forte.
Yeah, I push.
You push.
Yes.
But it's the back. It's the arm.
Yeah.
So when you say you push, you put, yeah, so this is where the length of your arm helps, because you don't have to move that much and you immediately get power.
Yeah.
Because I don't see you moving a lot. You don't have to do crazy motions. You can just leverage your mass. What's your hand span? Like, what's your reach?
I could do 12.
The 12th?
Yes.
Oh, good.
Like comfortably?
A little bit struggling, but
Mhm.
I could do it.
Philippe says your 15th prelude made him cry.
Thank you so much. That's most impressive.
Do you have a stuffed animal collection? So, someone asked, "Where's the teddy bear?" What is the name of your teddy bear?
Frederick.
Frederick. And is he named after
Shevsky.
Shevsky or Chopin?
Chopin. Chopin.
Did you mean to bow after the preludes?
Yes, it was intentional.
Okay.
Yeah,
I thought maybe you thought the program was over because you were so involved in the preludes.
No, because I thought it's already a full program of 24 preludes, contains everything. So I want to kind of restart the mood. I don't know whether it really worked out perfectly, but that's my initial plan.
And that, I guess, it wasn't against the rules. You weren't disqualified, but no one else is doing that. And of course, the audience seems conditioned to not clap right in between. So that's interesting. Guys, you're asking questions so fast. Did you notice we don't need to talk too much about coughing. Did you notice the coughing in between pieces? He played all the preludes, so actually it was probably different, and then everyone applauded. Maybe your first round. I'm just, guys, I'm looking through here. Hand comparison. Okay, fine. Here, show him. Yeah, he's got an extra knuckle ridge longer than mine. Yes, we asked about the bowing. Okay, who's your favorite composer other than Chopin?
Does it have to be pianist?
No.
Anton Bruckner.
Really?
Yes.
What do you love about Bruckner?
His sense of like endless, his sense of time in general, and huge progress of everything.
This
slow
is revealing because you play your preludes with this long-term vision. Like there's a sweep and a speed. I mean, I don't want to say your preludes were fast, but you do take faster tempos in them. You must notice that other people are playing the E minor slower than you, or the F sharp minor, or the F sharp major, or the D flat. What compels you to sort of take these speedier tempos? Does it kind of have to do with this trying to make a long range effect?
I think it's maybe something much easier option for me. It's just for the stage, to overcome the stage stress. Actually, it's much more practical.
So slow
easier to control the.
Interesting. So slow is more challenging.
For me, it's tiny bit more.
It's interesting that would be the reason, because it seems very intentional. Like, this is the artistic effect you want, not I'm doing it because it's easier for me.
But I'm not doing too slow. But I personally, I do prefer a slightly faster tempo for slow pieces, because I care a lot about the sound decays. So I really want to make sure the next note comes before the first note sound really dies off. That's also something I can say. Yeah.
Let's see. Samuel says, absolutely loved your preludes. Among my favorite performances ever of the set. Reminded me of Cortot in some of them. Did you? Yeah, they asked about that. Yeah, some people. Okay, guys. So if you're just joining us, this is the late Chopin. We're currently talking with our guest, Jack Gao, who's just advanced to stage 3. I had been making my way through the results with Jed Distler, who's still in the room. We'll have him back in just a few minutes. I'll let Jack go. I'm sure he's tired. We'll answer a few more questions for Jack here, and then we'll finish the day as always with our fake awards. Let's see what else. What else can we get from you? Thank you, Dahlia. Yes, thank you, Dahlia. I hope I'm saying it right. How do you like Poland?
I didn't got that much time to really
Yeah.
explore everything, but from those I experienced, everything was great. Great food, great. Everything was arranged perfect by the competition.
What have you had to eat here?
The competition provides a restaurant for us for lunch, and they always provide brilliant foods.
They must treat you guys really well here.
Yes.
Do you what are you playing in your third round?
Pursues to start, and then the third impromptu in G flat,
Oh, nice.
and then goes
Which
to,
is a Cortot piece.
yes, that's and then after impromptu, I'm going to do the 33 mazurkas, and then goes to the third sonata. I think that's another connection.
Because it is in B
Da,
minor.
da, da, dee, da, da, dee, da.
Oh, that's cool. Are you going to go Attacca into it?
Depends on the mood.
I noticed you first round. You did some nice Attacas. What was my favorite? Was it ending the third ballade? Am I right? You went straight into
Yeah.
to the waltz?
I was
Is that right?
intending the whole program doing attakas, but I still took a little bit break.
Mhm.
But the last two was pretty literal.
Do you get sweaty out there, or are you okay? Is it hot on the stage, or you feel comfortable?
I'm fine.
So you can go on. You don't need to wipe anything. You did the coolest thing. Go watch Jack Gow's Preludes right before the G major. You wiped down. He just took. You had a handkerchief, right?
Yeah.
He wipes down his left hand, and then he goes. I guess it needed to be a little dry for that piece, right?
Yeah.
Is that normal for you?
Sometimes my fingertips got a little bit like sweat. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, people love you. Yeah. Where do you guys practice?
Firstly, we are assigned regularly by hours within the Chopin University, the Universal School. For second round, it's 3 hours per person, but definitely assigned. So we also go to our chosen piano's brand. They all have showrooms for each piano we chose. So I chose Kawaii, so I go to Kawaii.
Talk about the Kawaii, because you make it sound like gold. It's funny, not everyone makes every. It's not like the piano is all that matters. Obviously, lots of people play the Kawaii and they don't make it sound like you. But why did you choose it in particular?
That's long sound. That's
Long sound?
Yeah, very long tune. That's something I really care. I really love about the piano.
Say more about what does that mean. So even without the pedal, when you
Yes.
strike the tone, what do you get?
Goes longer than some other pianos.
So did you actually try that? You just like played a note and just waited and see how long until the decay happens?
I think I was trying the beginning of the 10-3 etude, the classic of long lines, the opus 10 number 3,
Yeah.
all these pianos. I think Kawaii has the best, like, so to say, like the sustain.
So you found it in the repertoire. You chose a lyrical piece and you just noticed that you could create longer lines with it. Well, you use it. So you were listening to something very specific when you went out there. It wasn't just like, oh, what do I feel comfortable on? It was like you were listening for what sound you wanted. Hear that, pianists? That's how you choose a piano. Okay. It's almost midnight. We should get back to the results, but let me just get any last questions? Oh, this is interesting. Okay, so where are you? Where are you from in China?
Beijing.
And how long did you train there before coming to Juilliard?
I was trained pretty much as a composer before I came to Juilliard. So
really,
it was a.
And you improvise too, or mostly compose?
Mostly compose. Yeah. But I would love to improvise. Yeah.
What have you learned from being a composer when it comes to learning another composer's work like Chopin? Like, how do you see his music?
Try to think in composer's shoes. Like, try to categorize a piece like a composer composing it.
And then do you play it as if you wrote it in a way?
Perhaps.
Kind of, right?
Kind of. Yeah.
Well, you sound like that. It sounds like it's your invention, but still faithful to the text. But it sounds like it's your, like we say, it sounds like you own it. Like you've made it your own. That's very interesting. What Chopin piece feels the best on the Kawaii?
Piece feels the best on the Kawaii. I was really looking forward to the third impromptu.
Well, now we can all look forward to it together.
Yes,
Why? Why that?
it has I think that piece has a very special sense of a layer of like some kind of golden sun
Mm.
in the top. I appreciate it. I heard it from Arol's recording. It was wonderful. I want to reproduce that kind of goldenness.
Maybe Jed,
Yeah.
would you like to come and ask Jack a couple of questions, and then I'm gonna, guys, I'll be right here. I just want to invite Jed back,
Okay.
and then I feel like Jed probably has some interesting ones. Maybe talk old
Okay.
pianists.
I'll
be-
I need a microphone.
Oh, that's true. I'll be nearby, and I just
Okay.
want to. I'm gonna do a little bit of organizing, and
Okay.
just maybe like a few minutes, and I might linger in the
Okay.
background. You can just hold it.
Okay, I can just hold it. Well, I'm so happy to see you here, and congratulations. And you know, one thing about I remember, you know, I was talking in my Chopin report about my personal mentor, who was Robert Helps, a wonderful composer and pianist. And I remember we were talking years ago about how what makes composers who play the piano different, what characterizes their interpretations, if anything. And he said something about that there was, excuse me, more attention to bass lines. And I'm wondering if there's something about that. And I'm thinking that there actually, you know, one thing about Chopin is that even though you know, he's so comfortable on the piano, I find that he's a composer that is basically a line composer, where lines are the important thing, more than you have wonderful chords and textures. And I kind of divide people between line guys and chord guys. Like Debussy is a chord guy, Ravel is a line guy, and I think more and more Chopin is a line guy. And I feel it is just like, what are your thoughts on this as far as counterpoint? Because, you know, as a composer, maybe you can talk a little bit about that. You know, the contrapuntal aspect of Chopin. Like, what do you, as a composer, like, what do you see? What is important to you?
I think a lot of times there are just wonderful coincidences, which the unnoticed bass lines of a very dense texture just could form a perfect counterpoint with the right hand melody. Or even sometimes, you know, there's a texture in the left hand, and there are moments of it really resembles the main materials. All these kind of things, maybe he's doing intentionally or not, and it's just these kind of elements, I think, is what I want to explore and appreciate. Is that what you are?
No. I think that's very clear. Like, I'm thinking also, like, we're talking about favorite preludes. One prelude that completely intrigues me is the second one, the A minor one, because of the
second one.
Oh, it's because in the left hand you have these dissonances that sound so modern even today. And so how were you approaching that prelude?
I was still thinking firstly of the main character. I was thinking, is something very dark? Is something implying death? Something very intense? So, and then I would check the score, and obviously we see the very weird left hand gesture. It has a lot of dissonances. I think it symbolizes all these dark features. So I would just try to apply all the tools I have, and I think I play it with more emphasis on the half note, the seconds. Yes.
What is your favorite Bruckner symphony?
Eighth.
That's my favorite too.
Why?
You tell me why. You say it first.
First, it has I think it has the largest scope, and it also contains more diverse musical materials, because it's very easy to hear Bruckner symphony as, you know, too boring or too repetitive. But that one, I don't think is. Every material gets its own long territory to really elaborate and to be appreciated.
Well, sometime when we're both back in New York, I have a 2-piano arrangement of it. We can read through it.
Oh, there we go.
There we go.
We should get moving with the continuation of the results, and it's after midnight. Jack, I want to just thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
coming. It was an honor and a pleasure for you to stop by. Thanks for coming all the way down.
Thank
Let
you
me
for-
get this off of you.
Okay.
But please say look into the camera and say bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye,
Friends.
everyone.
Goodbye, everyone.
Say bye to
Thanks so
Jack. It'll take a moment.
Bye to Jack.
Bye, Jack. Thanks, Jack. Congrats. Bye, Jack.
And we look forward to stage 3, and you deserve all of your success. The first time I heard you was when you won the Naumburg a couple of years ago, and your recital for the Naumburg, that was just incredibly memorable. And of course, I met you through our late friend Joe Patridge, who many of your viewers remember. Wonderful guy.
all right,
and-
Jack. Hey, man. Thanks for coming.
Okay, Maestro,
Thank you.
take care. Get some sleep.
Stay in touch and knock him dead in the third round.
Take the rest of the day off.
Here, I'll put this back on you, Jed. You're back
Okay.
here. See you, Jack.
See you.
Everyone says bye. Okay.
Okay.
Jack, I'll text you.
Okay.
Okay, I just put that in your pocket.
Yeah, put this in my
Um,
pocket. Go.
Yeah, we're gonna try to keep some sweep to this, but really
And-
happy Jack
Yeah.
Gao could come and join
And
us.
he is a very interesting composer, because at his New York debut, he played some of his compositions, and he has quite a mind, and I really hope he'll be composing more too.
Let's move forward now, guys. If you're just joining us,
Do we still have people on?
yeah,
the
we need to
list?
finish our
Yeah,
results,
let's
and then
finish the
we just
results.
had our guest Jack Gao, which was awesome that he could stop by, and
Yeah.
really excited to hear him in the next round.
Mm.
I know some of you are grieving right now and probably angry. Feel free to vent. I mean, I haven't processed everything. I can't believe some of them we've already spoken about them. We're going to keep moving here. This is the nature of competitions. I am getting some messages. I'll air these simply neutrally, but some people feel like, just people are moving on for
Yeah.
political reasons. We get that kind of, and who knows what kind of things, something can be political, psychological, meaning it's not a conspiracy. No one's pulling strings behind the scenes, but as a judge, it's not anonymous. Like, the judges know who these pianists are.
Mhm.
You know where they're from. Maybe you didn't study with them. There can be, reputations can certainly influence jury. There's just a psychology of, well, I'm forgiving this pianist because I've heard them before and I know that they're strong. Like this kind of thing. Whereas if it's a totally new person to you, you can be less forgiving.
Well, this does happen on juries. Because
Absolutely.
I've seen this happen.
And I've just experienced the challenge and the temptation myself. I mean, it's just we're not perfectly objective beings, and I think competitions do sort of reflect this kind of systematic effect. And it's almost, show me a competition that's free of them, and I'll be very interested to hear about it. So let's just keep moving here. Okay, so Tianyou Li made it. I mentioned that he had a great F minor roll. Xiaoxuan Li made it, and he had a really nice. I did not get to hear a second round yet. I did interview him, and I really liked the delicacy of his first round. Xiaoxuan Li did not make it despite an excellent Opus 2.
Yeah, that surprised me,
Yeah.
and because there was just wonderfully flamboyant yet controlled virtuosity.
So Eric Liu made it. We'll be talking about him in later rounds,
Sure.
but he certainly projects a seriousness of a very just a special artist who believes in, I would say, art for art's sake.
Yeah. Okay.
Philip Linoff did not make it. I thought that I was most impressed with him at Clyburn in repertoire that was unlike Chopin. I find in Chopin it's not as native to him, but he made an impressive showing here. And he got to the second round.
I agree. I spoke about him this morning on the Chopin report.
But good for him. He really played with a lot of integrity, and
Indeed,
he should be
Mhm.
really proud, and he'll have a great career, whatever he wants to do.
Mhm.
Tianyou Liu, phenom. She's the phenom who's left, 16 years old. Interestingly, we'll just say it wasn't good programming. She did make it.
Oh, she did.
She did. I'm
Oh.
not surprised she made it because she played the heck out of her pieces, but she also played 3 early flashy show pieces that are structurally similar, have a lot of the same kinds of techniques. When I actually think she's a serious enough young musician to have given us a 4th Ballade, for example, but
I would have liked to have seen more range.
I want to see more range, which we'll have to because she has to play mazurkas and a sonata.
Well, round 3 will
But at
show
16,
that.
it's like sometimes those are the Chopin pieces you play. You prove yourself. You cut your teeth with Opus 2, Opus 16, Opus 22, whatever. And so
okay,
we'll see how she goes in the 3rd round.
Mhm.
But she's definitely made a lot of fans. Being in the hall watching her play was really impressive too. Just her professionalism at that age.
Yeah.
I'm quite sad about Ruben Michelli.
He didn't make it?
He did not make it.
Oh, that's too bad. What a wonderful lyric gift he has.
Just processing this for the first time. And
yeah.
he's good with silences, and he's patient, and he listens. And,
I mean, he's a complete musician.
Yeah.
And he has a lot going for him because he's a composer as well as a conductor. So, this isn't the be all and end all for him. And, he's just a marvelous, well-rounded, all-around musician.
We got some Ruben fans. Ruben fans, speak up. Yeah, definitely. People are shocked. Should have passed. This is just where I don't get it because I don't know how you listen to that and don't rate it. It's just like this is where you can start getting in really bad moods about competitions because you start, even if you don't think about individual jury, you just start thinking about if anyone were on the jury. If you were on the jury, how can you hear that and not vote for it? Or how can you hear that and not give it a higher ranking than some others who passed, who I think had weaknesses where he had strengths and they didn't have strengths over his weaknesses. So I actually just, I would like to say objectively it makes no sense, but obviously there's no objectivity.
No,
here,
it's always subjective. It's fair and it's not fair, So.
Yeah, Aaron, I'm not going to do that because somebody says if you're going to say X should have passed, name one person who shouldn't have passed.
Anybody can say that. I mean,
well, first of all, we are pointing out people who we think were somewhat weak or we didn't think that. So you can infer from that if you'd like. But also, it's just it doesn't work that way. It's not like this person got in because this one person didn't get in because that one didn't.
It's not a zero sum.
It's not because you can't say it's because of that particular person's score that this one got left out. So it's actually a kind of rude thing to do, I think, and it's not helpful. But if you really want to infer to it, you can. Thank you, Molto Espresso, for the donation to keep the Chopin podcast alive. And with that, I would like to just quickly pause. And I'm wearing the Chopin podcast t-shirt. Guys, if you don't know about it, it's a 16-part series, over 30 hours long, in which me, Jed, Garrick Olson, who's the star guest of the show, and 24 other great pianists and scholars just basically spend our time with every note of Chopin's music virtually. And I spent the last year of my life, the better part of it, just sitting and editing and researching and pouring my time and heart into this. So please listen to it or watch it. It's the reason I'm here. It's because I made that, and Alec Leskovsky invited me. And also, I want to shout out to Barbara Muse, who there wouldn't be a Chopin podcast if she hadn't first reached out to me, invited me to come to the Miami Chopin competition and host that in January, and basically put up with a lot of the crazy ideas I pitched to her. She was always patient with me and always supportive to create this thing. So I just wanted to shout that out. And if you haven't checked out the Chopin Foundation, please do. Chopin.org. It's a United States-based organization, but it promotes Chopin's music in a country that, well, unlike Poland, doesn't have Chopin on every street corner. But it does have there are strong cultural elements in the U.S., and we want to promote them more. So please donate to the Chopin Foundation. And I will also say that I just completed a 22-minute documentary where I actually interview and basically compare and show the journeys of the 4 American competitors from Miami this past January, and sort of interview them in New York, or a couple of them on Zoom calls. And I kind of compare their Miami performances, and I show kind of the end result in Warsaw. And they all sounded better in Warsaw, and it's a cool little piece, and you should watch it, featuring Anthony Ratznoff, William Yang, Victoria Wong, and Anthony Kleczek. So check that out on the Chopin Foundation YouTube channel. Give it a like, subscribe. And yeah, I mean, full disclosure, I'm partnering with the Chopin Foundation. Obviously, I'm rooting for, and I have a bias for the American candidates. I'll just skip over a few right now and we'll come back. Anthony Ratanoff didn't make it. I just mentioned him, and I'm sad about that. I thought he played like with so much integrity and
I think so.
good taste today.
He's a very discerning musician, as we agreed. You know?
So, yeah, I feel bad for him. I'm going to send him a text after this. But Anthony, you rock. Everybody knows it. And you didn't need the Chopin. We would have all liked to see you go further, but your career is, secure. You didn't need to hear that from me. I'm just thinking out loud here. But yeah, I wish could have heard you go further, man. And thanks for joining us on the late Chopin before this. Backing up, Natalia Milstein didn't play. I didn't get to hear her second round.
Did she make it?
She did not make it.
Oh, she did not
No.
make it. Oh, disappointing.
Yeah, I liked a lot of things in the
She's
first
a
round.
fully formed artist, and she's and quite professional. She's made some wonderful recordings that I like.
Thank you, Jim, for the donation. Yeah, keep going.
Okay. She has a really excellent recording of the Prokofiev Version Fugitive, which I highly recommend.
Yeah, thank you guys for the love. Yeah, I would have liked to hear her again. I mean, I wish I could have heard her in the hall. I'm going to go listen to her second round. So, Yumika Nakagawa, let's just give her some love. I heard some mixed things from those in the hall, but amazing things and an emotional outpouring from people who watched around the world. She plays with so much integrity and nobility and reverence for this music, and was just literally in tears, sobbing during her D-flat prelude.
Yeah. I mean, you can really see that in the hall, but on the live stream.
It's pouring.
But I think her playing has a communicative immediacy that comes across, and it just connects with the audience in a way that I think is better heard than described, really.
Yeah, and also I'm going to give her an award later for something that happened in her preludes that I thought was great.
Okay, great.
Okay, thank you, Hamburger Chat, for the donation. Okay, so let me unpin questions for Jack. Jack was here earlier. If you're just joining us, you can back up to see the interview with Jack Gao. Let's talk quickly. Vincent Ong made it. I found a lot of wonderful details. And
I was
style
very
in his
happy
playing.
about that, and it was a little bit of a surprise because I think, I heard and wrote about his stage one performance, but I didn't remember it so much. But then hearing him play the preludes and the Polonaise, I was very impressed with the breadth of his playing and how he wasn't afraid to take time, not just rushing through that Polonaise. But
I like that his Polonaise was dum da dum.
Well, that's
like he keeps the larger beat, but he'll speed up the rhythms right at the end, right before the beat.
But
very stylish.
Oh, absolutely. But also in the preludes, there was so much breathing room. Like in the 16th prelude, he was one of the few pianists who didn't just bludgeon through it, like a horse with blinders on. He really was voicing it, and he would. And the phrases had different shapes and sizes, and I liked it quite a lot. So I'm happy he's going forward.
Okay, both these polls made it. Piotr Pawlak and Yehuda Prokopovich. I didn't hear Pawlak in the hall. I did hear his Opus 46, which sounded very interesting to me. You liked his Opus 22, I think, or aspects of the dance.
Aspect of
But Prokopovich, I heard in the hall. It sounded a bit. They're definitely tasteful virtues to his playing. Didn't hear a lot of variety of sound. It was kind of monotone, but
I talked about
there's an
them
identity to his playing. Yeah.
Oh, sure. I think that there's integrity. There's a real textual rectitude in Pawlak's playing that it makes him sound different.
Yeah, and I need to give them a more fair listen. I haven't really properly listened to Pawlak yet, so I don't want to comment too much. We talked about Anthony. Hao Zhao did not make it.
How Rao?
Yeah, well, they apparently pronounced Hao Zhao.
Hao Zhao.
I've just learned. But,
okay.
He made it to the finals last time, and I think
That's
he's
right.
improved a lot. certain things he does in his Chopin playing with pedal and sound are different. They're not always to my taste, but he also owns what he does. And today I thought there were a lot more virtues in his
Sure.
playing.
I think so, especially in, well, I'm going to be talking about him. in a
Okay,
bit.
cool. You'll give him an award. So
Yeah.
Hao Zhao's, sorry to see you go. Miyu Shindo has made it.
I'll be talking about her tomorrow.
Okay, Jed's gonna cover that one tomorrow, but Gabriele Strata didn't make it.
I
so-
am surprised about that because he's a pianist who has such a special sound and who has such specificity in his playing and variety of detail. And again, this is somebody who plays with great intention, and what he does is because he does things because he wants it so. And he's a real connoisseur's kind of pianist, and I'm going to be going back because I have to still finish my gramophone log to cover all of candidates
For sure,
today.
I'm just peeking at comments. Actually,
Yeah.
somebody mentioned. Oh, I lost the comment, so I can't read the person. But they said no, there's no Bruce Liu like standout this year. I would actually argue that the competition's stiffer this year. I think there are more high level, and that's why no one's super standing out. Is because we've got a very packed top tier.
Yes,
I
but
think.
people stand out in different ways.
Yeah.
And
Apparently,
Oh, and-
Bruce was kind of this. Everybody was looking at him like, oh, this guy's kind of running away with it.
Bruce made a big impression in the very flashy,
In the
charming
third round, he
pieces
kind
in
of
the third
ran away with it.
round.
We're not at the third round yet. We might have someone run away with it next round.
Well,
It's
yeah,
possible.
this is this is why I don't like to predict.
Yeah. And we'll just complain instead. No.
Right. Well,
no,
yeah.
but Gabriele Strata, it's extremely intentional playing and spoken quality, rhetorical, serious playing, a serious of an intention, and I look forward to giving a proper listen to his second round.
Well, I was in the hall for all of his rounds,
Mhm.
and he has really been impressing me quite a lot.
Tomoharu Ushida made it. I also haven't given a proper listen, but that's a six. No, that's not 16-year-old. So I know that Tomo. I've heard people calling him Tomo. Okay, Tomoharu has his fans, and I will listen. I don't know how much you've heard yet.
Oh no, I heard. I've heard everything, but I still have to process what he did.
We're still processing, guys.
We're
What
still
did you
pro-
think
we're
of
still
Tomo?
processing.
Ushida's very good. For somebody, it's by far a standout. Cool. All right, who else? Zitong Wang made it. I liked her first round, and she's another one. There was a stretch of these that I just did not get to hear in the hall.
Mhm.
Yifan Wu, 16-year-old. We actually do have another young one who made it.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I've
Good.
only so far heard him through the door, so I'll give him a proper listening. Miki Yamagata impressed me tonight. I actually thought in the first round I was on the fence, and in the second round she sold me with just her clear vision of what she wanted from the preludes and a very good heroic polonaise. Both she and Shiori, I thought, played with so much pride, and they landed their rhythms right in the pocket. Like the heroic polonaise is sort of perfect for them. Like something about the way they conceive of their sound. She had a big, bold sound.
Yeah,
that I really liked,
it's a big sound, and again, it really communicates.
Yes.
And there's no artifice in the playing. You don't get a sense that this is somebody who's monkeying around with detail just for the sake of being different. It's organic and natural and sincere playing, and we can use a lot more of that these days, right?
Yes. So there's a lot to say about William Yang. He's somebody that I heard in Miami. He's somebody who's fascinated me since I heard him. I admit to having struggled to identify with aspects of interpretation. Obviously, he got the, you can stuff your rubatos in a sack, Mr. Last time. And I don't think the first round repertoire was like the perfect recital for him. Tonight, while I know he's got his detractors and he's got his haters, that's true of a lot of artists who choose through their own engagement with the music, which I believe he's deeply serious with, will cause you to be polarizing. I think he's polarizing, but what we heard tonight, and I was sitting next to Jed, was, I think, actually extraordinary. Nobody sounds like William Yang.
No,
and I mean that in a positive sense tonight.
No, because I think that there are many pianists who want to channel the great pianists of the past. And a lot of listeners will listen to Chopin players thinking about, oh, who's going to be the next Horowitz, who's the next Cortot, who's the next Rubinstein, who's the next Yu Wang, who's the next anybody. And I think that William is very much his own person. And maybe one can relate some of his ideas to certain pianists from the past. We were talking about the Andante Spinato and Grand Polonaise, and
we'll get to that.
Right,
I have an award for that, but I do want to just say, somebody said I don't get William Yang. I have people texting me that. I'm hearing a little bit of whispers in the hall, but when I was in the hall about it, like what was it? I'll just say this: if you're going in to your listening of Chopin with certain values in mind, certain expectations. For example, if you're listening for a kind of approach to rubato, and which, by the way, I think we hear a lot, and so you get very used to it, and you just expect that's what Chopin's supposed to sound like. Then when William Yang challenges you with what I would call a kind of, is a very he's quietly penetrating in his lines. He has some of the best detail in terms of the way he layers his voicings. He has one of the best forte sounds I've heard in the entire competition.
As well as his pianos. I think that there's a real definition to the soft playing that really projects. And you heard that in the Barcarolle, especially.
But this would be doing him an injustice to just say that he's good at that pianismo, he's good at making this sound.
Right.
There's something integral to every piece he plays. There's a sense of vision for the whole work. And yeah, he does things that are contrary to your expectations. And I think that can put people off and they just don't get it.
Yes,
and I understand that. It actually takes a while to get used to. There's a lot of revealing.
Yes. And I think that his interpretations are really born out of careful scrutiny to the text. And there isn't received opinion about the playing, but there are also some details where you're listening and you're thinking, wow, this is really fresh. This is really unusual. But then you just go to the score and he's really simply doing what's there. And that often happens sometimes when I'm hearing a live performance or listening to a recording and I hear a detail that I thought, wait, what? If I may digress for a second,
please,
I'll give you a good example of this. Many years ago, I had to review for gramophone the Opus 25 Etudes of Chopin with long playing. And some of the etudes I thought were impossibly vulgar, like he played the Aeolian harp etude with rubatos that he must have gotten from the Liberace Museum, and it had the kind of emotive and acting that critics love to hate. But when he played the Butterfly etude, ding, 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 I was listening to the recording. I didn't have the score with me. I was just listening. My first listen, and at the very end, all of a sudden it seemed to end quite abruptly and quite softly, and I thought, what the heck is this? Bum, 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 do, do, do. Because often you hear do 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 dee dee dee. I mean, I'm exaggerating. So I thought, what the heck is this? Is long acting up again? So I took out my trusty score, I opened it up, and sure enough, he was just doing exactly what Chopin wrote, which is there's no retard and there's a pianissimo, the only pianissimo in that little etude. And so I thought, this may be the only recording of this little Butterfly etude that is actually, adhering to what Chopin wrote. And so, in this sense, again, getting back to William Yang, there are a lot of details that I would imagine are like this. So I look forward to going back and rehearing these performances.
What I'm telling the chat is I don't need to text someone. I'm ready to and again, I truly don't have a horse in this race. Yeah, I partner with the Chopin Foundation. I don't gain anything from William Yang advancing so much. I mean, maybe like one of my videos gets watched more. I'm on the record as being, like on the fence. I tried to defend William Yang, but also I've been struggling to like get it, because I also am looking for a certain kind of received passion, I think, or a certain kind of surprising poetry of a type that maybe we're used to, or that might be new and original, but in a way that we're comfortable with. And he has challenged me to listen to these pieces in a new way. And
I
I'm
think
not,
this
I
is,
swear I'm not just saying that.
and
It's
this is
really
the same
special.
way, and this is the same way that 65 years ago that Maurizio Pollini challenged these norms, because his style was quite different from what Rubinstein was doing, or from what was in the air. It was really, it was much truer to the text. There was a lack of, for lack of a better word, sentimentality. Maybe.
Yeah, and somebody, Milk Enjoyer, points out he has a fascinating technique, mesmerizing to watch. What he does with his technique and Chain Man's, what do you take from his playing? What do you think stands out? Basically, I'll just give you a few examples, but I'm still processing it. Number one, incredible embrace of silence and
Yes.
patience.
Indeed.
And
yeah.
so that's number one. You can hear it in the nocturnes. You can hear it in the bark roll. Here's how he starts the bark roll. You hear a lot of people go, boom, gee, and sort of trying to sing and emote. His is like mezzo piano, but it sends it straight to the back of the balcony.
Yeah. Also,
it's a big, small
right.
sound.
Yeah,
extremely
and also,
clear.
also, sorry to interrupt, but also in the coda,
Mhm.
We've heard so many codas where everybody's playing so loudly and the textures get really cluttered, but he pulls back so that you really hear all of the contrapuntal lines, because the textures are as thick as Crisco, and there's so much going on, over the pedal point, harmonically. And by really gauging the dynamics in that coda, and gauging the climax, he lets you hear everything.
Absolutely. Andrew, if you're talking about the end of William Yang's D minor prelude, and we're going to talk about a lot of the end of D minor preludes in a second. Actually, we need to move on.
Yeah,
I don't want to talk too much about William Yang, because I think it's an interesting case. I'm not giving him this much time because I think he deserves it over others. I don't think he's necessarily like at the top of the competition or anything. I think he surprised both of us tonight.
Indeed, he did.
And I understand and relate to you if you just don't get it, because I've been there, and I guess I'm starting to realize that Yang was seeing things that I wasn't seeing in this music, and there's more to say about it. No, I don't find it contrived. I find it actually, there's
not at all.
I don't have the words yet, and that might sound like a cop out, but let's just move on. But in any case,
move on,
Jacky Zhang didn't make it. So maybe let's give a tribute to Jacky.
Well, I'm going to talk about him anyway.
Well, then let's move on. We've now reached the last phase of this live stream. Thanks for joining us for so long again. We started a little bit late, and then we actually waited for the results, and then we all watched the results while the live stream was going. So this just got off the ground later.
It feels like we're on the Jerry Lewis telethon, for those of you who remember that.
Yes, I mean, we've got cultural illusions for all ages here.
I'm dating myself. Let's lady.
You're dating yourself, Jed. I thought you were married.
Right.
You like that one? Okay.
But chink. Yeah.
So,
right.
Jed, you want to begin with some repertoire awards?
Yeah. Well, I have some. I call these the Twin Peaks Awards. Talk about cultural references, because I have pairs of awards for the same pieces where I'm awarding. Now, I'm not saying these are favorite performances or best performances of pieces, but these were performances of certain repertoire that really spoke to me, and you can go back and look at them. So for my Twin Peaks Polonaise in F sharp minor, Opus 44 award, I have two pianists, Eric Guo, because of the transparency of texture, the direction of his octaves, and also he was able to get from the Steinway this real distinction between registers, which is something that you get on period instruments, and somehow he's been channeling this in a modern instrument. And I also give the Polonaise Opus 44 Twin Peak Award to Gabriele Strata. I think because he just created character like crazy. And also what I noticed is how he shaped his trills by pulling them back a little bit in tempo and really allowing them to resolve so you could hear the resolutions and the real tonal differentiation he got.
And I'll add the honorable mention of David Krakuli, whose Opus 44 was extremely dramatic and powerful. And for me, that's that's just one of my go-to performances of that piece as well now.
Mhm.
Okay, any others?
Well, Opus 53,
we heard a lot of heroic polonaises.
Oh yeah, we heard so many of them, but my awards may surprise you. Actually, Adam Kaldunski, am I pronouncing his name
Yes.
right? You know what I liked about his performance is that it had real natural sweep and an innate feeling for the syntax, where you really got a sense that the piece was speaking rather than singing necessarily or being declaimed. It really talked, for lack of a better word. However, and this is my big however, Shiori Kuwahara played a heroic polonaise that just filled the room. It had generosity, it had incredible sweep and power, but it also had nobility. And I was sitting next to a very distinguished Polish critic, and when the performance finished, we both looked at each other and spontaneously said, "The best polonaise." And it seemed like she was really channeling Rubinstein, because it had the big sound and it had generosity, timing, but emotional generosity. This was the real
like very
thing.
Grand nobility.
Yes,
yeah, she had it.
Okay.
I listened to it while showering yesterday.
Well,
I didn't get to hear everything in the hall. I have yet to hear Shori in the hall. I'm so glad I get to hear it.
Okay. No, but don't worry about David Krakuli, because he's on my list
Okay.
as well.
I know you're very good at spreading out the love and not just giving everything to David
and
Krakuli.
Jack Gao, who is just here. I think both of them get my integral set of Chopin 24 Preludes awards, because these are very, very different interpretations. David's sounded as if he was improvising all of the embellishments and all the rubatos on the spot. Like he was just picking bunnies out of the hat. It just had incredible flow and spontaneity, yet inevitability too. Whereas Jack's was more exploratory, more deliberately detailed. I mean, these readings complemented one another. My third Scherzo award goes to How it's not Wow, How Zhao, because my God, he stretched out that opening. You didn't know where he was going to go with it, and then all of a sudden, bang! It just like right out of the starting gate. But then Sheshang Li. God, I'm so horrible with names, but Sheshang Li also had quite a demonic third scherzo that I just really threw me for a loop. And these were two take no prisoners accounts of this piece, which impressed me.
Absolutely. I could give David another award because his third scherzo was thrilling, but I'll also mention Ruben Michelli. I confess to not having gotten to the coda because I was interrupted, but it was going really well. So unless he botched the coda, I really enjoyed his third scherzo as well.
And we have to give now, this isn't one piece for two people. This is two pieces for one people, for one person. The first two impromptus, Anthony Ratanoff. What thoughtful, beautifully constructed interpretations these were. You could take dictation from them. Absolutely beautiful, beautiful playing. For my fourth ballade, two people who did not make it to the third stage, our hero, Yan Yan Bao. What a beautiful, heartfelt, thought-out fourth ballade. And also the fourth ballade played by Victoria Wong. She played her heart out. It was so
She got eliminated after the
de-
first
I
round.
know,
Yeah.
and it was so thoughtfully detailed. It was so full of color and cumulative momentum. Two beautiful, beautiful performances. And then my outlier awards go to Zizi
Zizi Chen, yeah.
Zizi Chen. I was going to say Zizi Flight. Zizi
Outlier meaning the outlier pieces that don't really have a
the
home.
outlier pieces that nobody cares about except
Yeah.
for us. But
Zizi Chen.
Zizi Chen's performance of the Rondo Number 1, which is a piece you don't hear very much.
For the record, I've been Team Zizi since the beginning. I don't hear anybody else talking about him. I don't know why. Thank you for mentioning him.
Lovely, lovely performance, just so full of bite and character and scintillation. And I would say also Hugh Lee's performance of the Sonata Number 1 that had so
Hugh
much
or
for
Hyo?
so much for Hugh.
Was it Hugh?
Hyo.
Hyo. Yeah.
Oh gosh, God,
You're right.
I'm people are going to kill me.
No, you're fine.
Hyo Lee, what a wonderful performance, and one that really brought out the minuet's proximity to Schubert. You know, you hear this and you think that Schubert and Chopin were separated at birth. And for my second ballade award, Jun Shimada, who was only in round 1, and Jacky Zhang, because these are both beautiful, well-sculpted, and basically horizontal performances, meaning that when you get to that tumultuous music in A minor, that a lot of times you hear that and it's just like a Mack truck that's plowing through the music. But you heard real independence of hands, you heard clear lines. That's what I mean by horizontal, and that's why I was attracted to their performances. And then last on my Twin Peaks list, a piece, well, it's one piece, but it's in 2 parts. So that's two pieces or 2 parts of one piece that go to one pianist. And this was a no-brainer. The Andante Spinato in Grand Polonaise with William Yang.
It's not a no-brainer for everybody. I was going to give him the Joseph Hoffman Andante Spianato Award because he plays it at Joseph Hoffman's tempo. Go look up the Golden Jubilee concert. Now, Hoffman can be a little more flippant, where Yang is more like has sort of longer, more serious intent, but same tempo. Now, this is a perfect example, and then I'll get off of the Yang sort of defense, but perfect example. If you're expecting your Andante Spianato to be loving and rubato-y and slow.
Here, 5 minutes later, you know, like Michelangelo at the Barbican.
Then yes, William Yang's can sound emotionless to you because you are already going in expecting emotion to sound a certain tempo.
But as Johnny Carson would have said, not so golden age breath.
The William Yang's Andante Spianato felt like I was flying through the stars. It was absolutely dreamy, and he does Chopin's written accents on the D's. And you know, a lot of people like to do the lower voice. He does do those lower voices the second time. It was just thoughtful, but no, I didn't find that contrived.
You were on a magic carpet, man.
It was a magic carpet ride for me. This was my first like William Yang moment. I've heard him many times, so I'm getting there, and I'm happy to sort of help others. I have some other awards here, guys. The dope left hand B flat minor prelude award goes to Yan Bao, who she started actually differentiating like the 7th and the 3rd in the chordal in the voices.
And you always heard the top voice. Well, you know, pianists have a habit of playing this piece where the left hand, where you're doing all your crescendoing and decrescendoing in the right hand, and the left hand is basically on cruise control, but not in her performance.
Yeah, I wonder if that's the kind of thing where like too many jury were like gimmicky -1. I don't know what goes through their head. I'm gonna stop. I don't care about the jury. I'm mad about those who didn't go on. We're not here to believe that competitions are perfect. We're here to get to hear all these pianists play. we got to hear Yan Yan Bao play the piano, and at this
That's
level,
a gift.
that's a gift to all of us.
Yeah.
And now we're going to listen to her more.
All right. What's next?
The early Mazurka Prize, because there is a proper Mazurka Prize, not a fake award. We're giving the fake awards. The second round Mazurka Prize goes to Eric Guo for his Opus 17. Highly differentiated, extremely sensitive, wonderful sense of style and air and color. He kind of had it all.
And swing. They swung like mad.
He won the period performance edition of this competition a couple years ago, and it shows in this music, I thought, especially.
Yeah, like I said before, his mazurkas mazurk.
The best dressed award, well, it kind of, I mean, the reigning champ, and probably if she'd made this next round, she would have just gotten it every time, is Miki Yamagata, who had beautiful dress tonight, and she wore this sort of traditional Japanese garb the first night.
Yep.
I also want to give Adam Kaldunsky credit for his wonderful sort of, what even color of red is that? Is it crimson? That rich, sanguine sort of red silk shirt thing. It was the same shirt he wore the first time in a different color.
Yeah.
I liked his style.
Well, it's kind of like the Peter Serkin look-alike award. Like, I'm talking about the young Peter Serkin with the ponytail and just the absolute connection with the keyboard. Yes,
I gave Gabriele Strata the award last time. Sure, for sure he could have won this one, but I wanted to recognize Kaldunsky. And also an honorable mention to Zihan Jin, who gets the Horowitz bow tie award. He looked very dapper in that. A few Inner Voices awards. Zizi Chen for his preludes, this C minor prelude, some really remarkable things happened in that prelude, also the one after it. There were probably many in Jackson Yan Yan, but really my number one, Karina, the number one clear Inner Voice award from this round for me.
Drum roll.
Adam Kaldunsky, and this is so specific, his F sharp minor prelude had one of the creepiest out of nowhere inner voices that nobody had any idea existed in the score, or that you could, color in the lines in a certain way that I would even do it. I don't know where he pulled this snake out of his sleeve, but go listen to Kaldunsky's F sharp minor prelude. And it was organic too. It wasn't random. I don't give random Inner Voice awards. They have to be meaningful. And this one was, I'm still thinking about it. So that one for me. Tianyou Liu's jumps in the Opus 2, those notorious bum 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 bum. Want to recognize it's a purely technical thing. She played brilliantly in lots of musical ways too. And actually, it wasn't even my favorite Opus 2. I thought that by that point I had just heard enough brilliant playing from her. It was kind of sounding the same all the time. But her jumps were like unbelievable.
If she can do that, imagine how she would play Mephisto Waltz.
Oh man! Well, I'm sure she does. I'm sure she did when she was 10.
Yeah.
I don't know why I keep giving him this kind of award. It's like typecasting him, but he makes films for his Instagram, which are basically like scenes out of Scarface or Goodfellas. But yeah, I mean, wouldn't want to meet him in a dark alley award. Kukuli. I just love Kukuli's smoldering. It's aristocratic, but it's also there is something like extremely like elegant, criminal. Somebody with a public face that's able to sort of like carry this air. But then he's got a lot of skeletons in the closet too. I don't mean this literally, obviously, about David the person. There's just something in his aura that's just, and it extends into his playing, and his playing has this kind of like, let me take you here. I mean, and then I've got some secrets for you that I'm going to show you at the end of the tunnel.
I'm going to give you some inner voices you can't refuse.
It's inner voices, but it's also, I thought what was just so compelling was just his constant line, his constant vision of lines. He always takes you past where you think most people would do rubato, and then he just curtsies at the end of a phrase, or he sort of takes you by the hand and he shows you to the end, and then he does the most beautiful things.
And also the thing about his preludes was the attaccas, where he would just go from one to another. incredible continuity we heard in that.
I need to. I'm still developing the right vocabulary for Kukuli, so that's why I haven't given him a proper award yet. But he was one of my favorites in this last round. I have I wanted to recognize the final Ds of the D minor prelude.
Oh yeah, you were really calculating these
So,
from the very beginning because
I've actually got some. data here.
everybody played them differently, and maybe you can talk about like that way of playing it where you're. I can't. Garrick Olson was talking about this with you about like a special way to.
Yeah,
play
I actually
those
have the data on this.
gong,
Karina,
gong.
help me out. Where is it in our doc? Oh, here it is. Okay. So here's everybody who played the 24th Prelude and exactly what they did. And then I'll tell you which ones I liked.
All
Okay.
right.
Jackie Zhang. He played it with the right hand, fingers 2 and 3. He did not depress with the C and the E. And so he did that. Oh gosh, this is a lot of data. Maybe I shouldn't read through all this.
when you press the C and the E and you play
When
the
you play the
that
C and
means
the
you
E
get
silently,
you
get the overtones, and it allows the D to stick up like a black key, and you won't miss with one of the keys around it.
Okay.
So how about this? I'll recognize those who did depress the C and the E. Piotr Alexewicz did it, and then he used fingers 3, 4, and 5 with the left hand on the last 2 Ds. Zizi Chen depressed the C and the E. And then the last with the left hand, and then the last 2 Ds, he uses 2, 3, and 4. Yubo Dang did left hand fist while doing the right hand, right, depressing C and D. And so did Yumika Nakagawa, and she gets one of my awards for best final Ds. They were extremely powerful. I only heard it on the live stream, and I would have liked to know what that sounded like in the hall. A couple of my other favorite final Ds. I mentioned Zizi Chen. He made that. I was about to say Pearl River. Sorry. The Shigeru Kawai, he made it resonate with such reverberance. And then he like lifted the pedal in a way that usually this is not a good sound, but it was awesome here. It goes wow at the end. It was like he finished the note with his foot.
It's kind of like an organ pedal.
I thought that was really cool. Some other ones who used depressed the C and the E, Adam Kaldinsky did, and then on the last 2 Ds, he uses 2 and 3 in the right hand. Zeishang Li did. He uses 1, 2, 3 in the right. Tianyou Liu depresses C and E. She uses 2 and 3 and 4. Everybody has a different way.
Kind of
I can't imagine what her hands are like.
Claudio Arau did 1, 2, 3.
Ruben Michelli just does left hand thumb. And so did Jack, by the way. Is Jack on here? Yeah. Jack just goes like this with his thumb. He's like, he just like lifts the thumb and then he just like drops it like an anvil. It was crazy. Some others, Natalia Milstein holds the C and the E, and then she does 1 and 2 with the right hand. Yehuda Prokopovich holds it, does 2 and 3. He holds the C and the E. Zitong Wang holds the C and Ds, does 2, 3, 4. I don't get 2, 3, 4. How does that even work? I need to look at that again. Miki Yamagata did 1, 2, 3. That makes sense to me right there.
Nobody used their nose?
No. Well, that hurts, Jed. I
tried it once.
And yes, now they're asking, you guys are talking about William Yang. I said I wouldn't mention him again, but we have to talk about his final Ds. Because it was startling that he took so long before the final D.
He went bong.
And then he actually put his hand up to it and chose not to ring it yet. I saw him think about it and he was like, nope, not yet. Now. And I was like, was that weird? But I'm on a kind of William Yang defense.
Well, it ain't
campaign,
what Chopin wrote, but had Chopin heard it, he would have said, "Hey, I think you have a point."
He didn't not write it. I didn't hear a lot of perfectly in time final Ds.
Yeah.
No one really thinks of the timing at the end. If these are the final nails in the coffin or the sort of last death blows of eternal damnation, there's not exactly measured.
No,
there's not measured time
not.
and eternity
Time,
in hell.
Yeah.
So there's this kind of like the fact that he took so long was like, yeah, I mean, we're all in this like endless pit of fire at this point.
Yeah.
Does it really matter when the last one comes? It was actually like really striking. Okay. Pun, I did not intend that pun. Pun unintended, but okay. Yeah, we're still thinking about William Yang's performance, even if it wasn't something that you totally understood.
This is the thing that is you know, what's interesting is like sometimes with pianists who challenge you like this and maybe polarizing in a sense, what happens is after you hear them, you wind up, you still can't help but talking about them. This used to happen with Vladimir Horowitz a lot, where I had a friend who said, oh, I heard him. I didn't agree with anything he said, but I couldn't stop talking about the performance for months and months and months. And I was on a competition jury once where there was a pianist who really was controversial, and I wasn't sure if he was going to make it into the next round. And my fellow jurors were kind of fighting over this, but I said, you know, we have to keep in the next round because this pianist is the only one you've been talking about. You haven't talked about any of the other candidates. You guys are obsessed. So obviously there must have been something to the playing that obsessed you. You know, it's like when people say they can't stand Glenn Gould and they spend 2 months talking about why they can't stand him. You know, you can't ignore it, right?
Yeah, I know. That's actually a really important point. I think for some people, they just don't like it and they don't know why we're talking about it so much. But this is what's really cool about what we're doing is we were all really listening in different ways. And that's why we want to talk about it. That's why I spent all this time talking about it. And Jed spent so much time writing about it, because if you just listen and you just listen to what you like, you know, you never really develop your taste. You never get challenged. You never make discoveries in your listening, or you rarely do. And this is one way I think to really promote that. And if it weren't for people forcing me to really listen to things, insisting that I listen in a new way, I would have never discovered all kinds of great artistry. I wanted to give the programming award actually to Eric Liu, who structured his recital in a way that everything sort of moved either to a parallel or relative key, or was like a dominant. Now, he wasn't a taka per se, but it did give a unity to everything. Off the top of my head, F sharp minor Polonaise ends F sharp, and he goes into the relative major, the A major prelude. His prelude set ends on G sharp minor. Those final G sharps become the fifth of his waltz, his C sharp minor waltz. And then the waltz ends on a C sharp up high, but C sharp is inharmonic to D flat, which is the first note of the B flat minor prelude. Now, you heard Jack Gao talking about his programming ideas too. His first round certainly had that. You can't really do much with programming when you play the 24 preludes, but he said his third round also has some interesting programming aspects to it. And with that, I want to just finish by actually giving a little preview of some of the third round rep that we're going to be hearing. Karina, I see you in the doc, but I'm going to go ahead and start talking about it. So I won't tell you who, but I am going to just kind of name some of the more interesting pieces that we'll hear in the next round. So I won't talk about ones that we've heard a lot, but we are going to hear the G flat impromptu, at least by Jack Gao. There might be more. The Polonaise in B flat major, opus 71, number 2, a posthumous
That's
Polonaise.
an early work you don't hear very much.
The Krakowiak, played by, I think, Pawlak, opus 14 solo version.
Oh, really?
I didn't even know. I mean, I knew that Chopin made solo versions of things, but I've never heard of anybody playing this solo version.
Well, you know, he played the Allegro de concert.
He did, and he's winning most outliers on his program. We have the variations. I think they're called Brilliant Variations in B flat.
Right, the Herald Variations. That's a fabulous, fabulous piece.
A waltz,
so much fun.
A waltz in E major that doesn't have an opus number.
It's one of the posthumous ones.
WN 18. We're here. What else?
You're just doing the outliers here?
Well, I'm mentioning some of the outlier ones, but obviously we're going to hear lots of second and third sonatas. We're going to hear lots of just about every probably. Actually, I don't know. I haven't gone through which mazurkas we're not going to hear yet. We're going to hear some Berseuses.
Opus 33 mazurkas.
Opus 22 has not gone away. We will be hearing Opus 22.
We have some more boleros coming up, don't we?
Oh, 10 of each sonata.
10 of each.
Well, what do you know? Usually you get kind of more third sonatas than second sonatas in recent years.
But it's equally divided.
Split.
Cool.
Half and half. And if you do the second sonata, that gives you a lot more time. Well, it gives you 5 to 8 minutes more time.
Right.
Which can help with programming. You can add a more significant piece if you want to. You can add a whole 40-minute mean, I think you could possibly do all the preludes actually, and the second sonata.
Hmm.
Karina, feel free to chime in the chat with any extra sort of highlights here. But lots more scherzos. If you were missing scherzo number 4, we're getting it. We're getting more number 3s, getting more barcarolles.
Are
Getting
we getting more Laci de Men?
Yes, we are getting more
Why
opus
are
2s.
people just are playing that?
Can I just say, I've said it on my Patreon, guys. If you like this at all and you want to hear me actually talk in more specificity about given performances, I'll be covering the semifinals more thoroughly. But I've done, between half and 2/3 of everything that's been played already. I've given a pretty detailed account of there, patreon.com/benlottie. But one of the things I finally built up the courage to say was, I'm so sick of Opus 2. I didn't like it that much before. I know Bruce killed it and that inspired people to play it. I don't like to listen to it. Hats off a genius, my ass, Robert Schumann. That is not what made Chopin a genius. Show me a recording that can sell me on it. Yeah, Bruce's is great, but I don't want to keep coming back to it. I'm just like, what about you guys? Who's just yeah, are you with me? I'm making this a poll. Guys, I'm polling you. Poll. Opus 2, yes or no?
I think you wrote 21, but it's okay.
Oh, no, I wrote Opus 2.
Oh, you did. Oh, it's a question mark.
You like Opus 2? Oh, they like it. Okay,
Fine.
71%. That's fine. I'm not even sick of it. It's not like I hear Opus 22 a lot. I'm actually not sick of it.
Well, speaking of
Well, sometimes,
Krakowiak,
but-
whoa.
yeah.
Speaking of Krakowiak, wasn't there a time when for the concerto third finals, you had the option of playing Krakowiak?
No, it was the Polish airs in 1995.
In what year was this?
95.
Oh,
so in
you
the
did
finals of 95, you did a concerto and you did the rondo on Polish airs. Maybe Krakowiak was the other option. Maybe it was either Opus 13 or 14.
Didn't Gabriela Montero play the Krakowiak? I think she may have.
I thought she did the Polish airs. Maybe it was Krakowiak. But yeah, we'll have to look that up.
Yeah.
Somebody pointed out that I'm doing a poll, and we are here in Pole land, the land of Poles.
Okay.
Guys, it's getting really late. Thank you
It's
so much for
getting
joining
late.
us.
It's
It's been
getting
real.
late. I gotta go write my gramophone.
Oh
blog.
no, Jed and I are.
We're burning the
somebody
candles at
said
both
on
ends.
my Instagram,
Yeah.
Jed and
When do
Ben
we
are
sleep?
the hardest working people in Warsaw. I have to disagree.
The pianists.
There's at least 84
pianists
people I
who've
can
been
think of
working.
who are working much harder than us.
The hardest working man in show
And
business.
also the people who work at this Chopin organization are just
they are working 28
nonstop.
hours
It's
a
the
day.
most incredible production
know.
of any classical music, anything I've seen, but I haven't seen a lot. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm sure there's, I know that like the Arte TV does great
Right,
stuff. Medici.
right, I
I'm sure
know.
there's amazing productions all around. Just the concentration of attention and the army of people who are really happily, willingly. It's a good job, and there's a
is
lot
a
of
good
pride
job.
to be part of it, and there's a
Yeah.
lot of camaraderie among the people. I'm sure there's people complaining, maybe they don't like it, but I just get a really good vibe from this competition.
I do too. And what I feel is we're working hard, but all the people who we're working with are working so hard to make it easy for us to do our jobs. And I'm just so grateful for the support of everyone here. And this isn't just lip service. Even in the hotel we're staying at, they're taking great care of us.
So we'll leave you guys pretty soon, but just if you haven't checked out the Chopin podcast, please do. But also the Chopin podcast Opus Index. That's index.chopinpodcast.com. Basically, what it is you go and you look up any Chopin piece. It's a really quick, easy interface, and it immediately takes you to a page which calls up the moment where Garrick Olson talks about that piece, time-stamped right there, a video for you to press play on. So you want to learn about the G minor ballade, or you want to see Garrick break down this or that nocturne, boom, type in, it's right there. And not just Garrick, but other guests, including Jed. So Jed will give us recording recommendations. That'll be listed under that as well. It's basically a reference tool that's interactive, that's like integrated the whole universe of the Chopin podcast as an actual search tool. A whole awesome team that includes Karina saying, helped me build this in the last like 6 weeks or 2 months, right in time for the Chopin competition. So it's great to have as a companion for that. So if you like what I do, subscribe to my Instagram. I've got a Facebook page. keep subscribe to this YouTube channel. Thank you all who have donated. And if you want to see my sort of long form reviews, often recorded with me walking around Warsaw back to my hotel, especially with the semifinals, my coverage is going to get more detailed. It just starts at $5 a month. If you only want to donate during the Chopin competition, you want to cancel afterward, fine, whatever.
It's totally worth it.
Yeah, I mean, and it's fun. There's a community in there. It's getting big enough that actually there's really cool conversations happening.
Mm-hmm.
So please consider that. But also, if you want to just support what I do, I work hard on this stuff, and it's not just Chopin. After Chopin competition, I will be making videos and series about other composers, pianists, things like that. Jed, tell us what you've got going on.
Well, and you can check out my weekly radio show Between the Keys on WWFM, the Classical Network, which you can listen to on the dial or online. It is on every Friday afternoon at 3 o'clock New York time, 3 p.m., and Saturday evening, 6 p.m. New York time. And webcasts are published after the show airs, which you can hear 24/7. I have a podcast twice a week called The Piano Maven with Jed Distler, your friendly guide to piano recordings. And this month, we are going through all the Chopin mazurkas on Between the Keys in 7 programs where we have all 51 standard mazurkas, 2 pianists for each mazurka. That's 102 performances, 102 pianists, and we don't repeat a pianist. Is that insane or what? I would say what?
Guys, this podcast with Leslie Howard would take 1,000 years to make. And also, if you're wondering if there's going to be a Beethoven podcast, that is what I'm leaning to, but I'm not going to immediately launch a new podcast. I have videos that have been in my pipeline for more than a year, just sitting there patiently waiting, that I'm so excited to make, and I know you're going to love, and they're about all kinds of cool piano topics and things. And the Chopin podcast just cut in line for an entire year. I've lost subscribers, or I've had people give up on my channel because they're not Chopin people, and they've been like, when did this become 24/7 Chopin? So I'm not that I'm done with Chopin. Obviously, we'll never leave Chopin. I run a classical piano channel. He is our composer. He is the pianist composer. But I can't ignore the core of the repertoire or the outliers of the repertoire either, for that matter. And there's so many great pianists that I just haven't talked about that people are just wondering when I'm ever going to get to them. So going to branch out when I get home from Warsaw, so you can look forward to that. But it's Chopin wall to wall for the rest of the month. So
wall to wall to wall to wall, piano to piano to piano.
Jed,
thank you for having me.
Thanks
it's
for being here. Thank you guys. It was a lot of fun.
Okay.
Another 2 hours. Gosh, can you imagine how long the semifinals and finals will be? Maybe less time because there's fewer people.
Mm-hmm.
We got to get some rest. We got to
work and rest.
Our colleagues might be watching this, being like, "These guys need to go to sleep. We got to be at work
Sleep.
Tomorrow." I'm recording a bunch of Chopin talk things tomorrow.
At least you don't have to record the Chopin etudes.
Yeah, that's true. But so you'll be seeing me on the Chopin Institute channel at intermissions. Many of them will be pre-recorded. So if you're wondering why it feels a little different, you don't hear the crowd noise in the background, it's because we're recording them tomorrow on the day off, and I'm doing 4 of them. So and there will be some live ones coming later. So stay with us. You can watch both of us on the official channel. You can watch us on our channels. Good night. It's really late. See you guys.
Jesus, how am I going to write?